Welcome to another edition of In the Weeds with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's number one casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack match roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards. I was watching the one-on-one tackle reps that were coming out from OU practice, and I was like, I wonder if I know a guy that could help me break these down. Hello, Lane Johnson, best tackle on planet Earth. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm doing better today. You talked about bringing up some clips from practice, and I said, "Who, mine?" But no, man, I'm excited to kind of dive into this and look at some of the people on the roster and break down some of these guys in practice.
All right, in this first clip, Lane, let's take a look at Derek Simmons against Taylor Wein. And Simmons is a transfer tackle from Western Carolina who has
I need
been,
measurements. See, like a 6'5".
yeah, 6'5", 325 type.
Okay, yeah, big
Yeah.
dude.
So I mean, he's got the height and the weight that you're looking for,
Yep,
and he's been rolling with the ones at right tackle throughout all of spring ball, LJ. So let's take a
yep.
look at his rep here against Taylor Wein. Initially, what do you think about that initial set?
Yeah, so I think the set is like appropriate for how close this guy is. But for me, like one thing we try to do is that you see that his first kick off the line of scrimmage, that's not covering much ground, and
Right,
so
little small.
little small. And so if a defensive end's first step is going to be a yard up the field, and you're taking that little step like that, I think you're going to be, we call it reading the rush instead of getting to a certain spot and having time to react. But like in this drill, I think it's a loaded drill. There's not really, where the quarterback's at. It's more of him getting around him. So I think it was a good short set. I think with his punch was pretty good too. What you try to do is try to hit his, so it'd be the defensive end's left shoulder, his left bicep is where you kind of want to aim. If you throw that right hand too shallow or too in the middle of his chest, that's just asking him to get swiped, and you can get easily beat around the edge. But I thought it was a good initial punch, and then resetting. So he had a plan. If anything, there's with critiquing this drill is, I think what's important is to what is your average quarterback's depth of drop per different types of plays: 6-man protection, 7-man protection, play action, and then just remember that for the drills. So I know usually like when defensive ends are doing drills, they set a towel at like 8 yards, because usually a quarterback in the league is setting close to eight or seven, sometimes nine, but usually in that area. So, but no, I thought it was a solid rep. And we only get this one angle, so you can kind of see, but he's very close to him. That would be like a tight five being
Right.
on you. So, I like the finish too. So, um,
The
and the guy, his body type looks like he can play tackle and guard. He's one of
right.
those guys.
I think that one of the things, and obviously you know a lot more about playing offensive tackle than I do, but I like him getting first touch with that right hand.
Yes.
But I've always been a guy. I love a guy that has an active inside hand.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean? It feels like he gets him, and that inside hand could be a little more violent and get on now. You know what I mean?
yeah. What I like about like is even his punch though. Some guys try to throw haymakers with their punches, and whenever they miss, they get thrown off balance. So that one's more of like a jab. It's more of like I'm finding my range. If
Right.
this lands, I'm going to grab. If it gets wiped, I think his thinking is I have my inside hand there to wash him by, pigeon toeing by. So I'm a big fan of the independent hands right there.
I like the hand on the hip right here. Like
Yes, right there. That is so underestimated. That little nudge right there can be the difference in a strip sack or him, but barely getting around there. And
yeah.
that's they emphasize that at the top of the rush when this guy's bending and he's trying to get this edge. If you can attack that hip and lower body and just keep riding him high,
See,
very
that's where he's in good shape with his hand on his hip right here. he resets it and puts it on his back. If he just keeps it low on that hip where he's got it, I think
Yeah.
he's going to be in a better position to finish, to even, widen him and deepen him a little more to where, and Mateer's stepping up,
Yeah.
and
And
he's
I
probably
think,
getting
yeah.
called for a hold here, right
Yeah.
there
Well,
with the
I think, yeah,
flail. But
the people don't need to be behind them. There needs to
right.
be a wider hump. There needs to be a 15-yard. That's usually like the rule, 15 yards from practice. But
Yeah, he maybe sees those guys and freaks out a little bit. That's actually a very good point. I hadn't thought of that. But I think overall I like the rep. I like the rep from Simmons a lot. One of the thing I like is just how balanced his feet are here. I
yeah,
would like to see more depth with that
yes,
initial kick, right? This is more of a, I would say, kind of a guard set, but if
yeah.
he quick setting them and working three-step stuff, maybe that's what his thought process is here.
Yeah. Well, there is different like schemes. But yeah, what I liked about his set though, you see that inside foot, you see how it's vertical at the top, right now. If you can keep that thing vertical for one or two kicks, three is elite. And whenever that toe turns, you'll notice that's when the pocket's getting shallower. So the more you can keep that inside foot straight, staying square. Um, but really a pretty good, a solid set overall. I like the
Yeah,
finish too.
nice rep. Finish. Debatable whether that'll be a hold or not. How about the barrel roll out of it? Look at this little athleticism here.
Yeah, it's one of those things like yeah, just trying to make it look like a easy day at work, I guess.
Yeah. Oh no. What do we have? What are we doing, Taylor Wine?
Exact. That's what I'm saying. The whole the
Never
quarterback.
bump into the quarterback.
Well,
What's he doing?
the quarterbacks in these drills they act so awkward. It's like, well, is he going to hit me? Like, can we just look down the field and keep it like a
Oh,
regular
you can tell though, Mateer's like, what are you doing?
doing? Yeah.
Who do you
No,
think
they
you
do.
are?
They freak out at all levels.
That's so overall, you think solid rep from Simmons there. I know we're basing
Yeah,
it off one-on-one rep. And
yeah.
by
You
the
can
way,
only get a angle.
shout out
But
to our guy Eddie Radosevich for the footage.
yes. No, I thought it was a solid rep, man. It
Yeah,
was
they're
really,
excited about him, man. He's got a chance to start. He's certainly going
Yeah,
to be.
I think what I was trying to say is that some schemes, if you have a shorter quarterback, they may ask the guys to be a more jump setting team, more set to the line, knowing that that'll provide lanes for the quarterback to see through versus a vertical setting team where you kind of you try to keep it as firm as you can in the middle with the center and the guards, and then the tackles are setting vertical. And I think, what it does, you have a mobile quarterback, they can escape out of each lane if they break containment. So that's kind of different philosophies and different styles. Like I would say, like Drew Brees when he was in with the Saints, and you watch their film and how aggressive setting they were, just like that set was. It was more lateral. We're talking about the depth, but just know that each kind of protection or each offensive line coach is kind of teaching different schemes at times.
It sounds like you know what you're talking about. Weird. Now
Weird.
we've got a blocked view. You know who that guy is, right?
Kind of like Vic Fangio from the back, but our defense coordinator. But who is that? Is
That
that
is
Moby?
old Kevin Wilson, brother. The
Kevin
guy,
Wilson?
the guy that brought us both to Oklahoma. Coach, get out of the way.
Dang,
You're in
I
the way
can't
on the
see his face.
shot.
Show
And
us your
hey,
face.
shout out to our guy Brandon Drum for this footage as well. Now this is Jacob Sexton going against our Mason Thomas. So
Yeah,
you've got a guy that's played a ton of ball at left tackle, and then the best player on OU's defense. Big deal that our Mason was coming back, had 9 sacks a year ago. So
yeah.
let's
So
look
no,
at
he's
this initial kick from Sexton Lane. I know you can't really
yeah.
see.
Is this a guard? Is he playing guard here or is he
He's playing
playing
tackle
tackle?
here. He's
Okay,
playing left tackle. He's been running with the ones at left tackle throughout spring ball. Covered. I
not a
do
bad.
like he's covering a
Yeah,
little more ground than
yeah,
we saw from Simmons.
yes, yep. You see that? Yep. And what I like about that step is that he stays square. Let's see how he handles the bull rush.
Here, let me go full speed for you.
Yeah, but even what I liked about that is that he waited to the last second to turn. That's the key, and that is where the turning of the pocket or the shallowing of the pocket happens right there at the top of the rush. But he stays square. That inside foot was square for at least 1 to 2.5 kicks, and then there it's going to start to turn. But it's better doing that at 5 yards than right at the line at 2 yards, and he's beating you around the edge.
I think
So
the
I thought
only
it.
thing I like the initial set. I think the only thing you'd like to see him be a little more proactive with the hands.
Yeah, so
right?
sometimes a guy gets under you, and so anytime you have that bull rush, you may get caught off balance. And that next step, you try to double under your hands and sink them with your feet. But yeah, keep on going. I want to see how it plays out.
Wash them by pretty good.
Yeah,
The
keep
only
going.
thing is right here kind of freezes the feet, right? Instead of
Yes, he stops instead of
what
gliding. Yeah,
when you get to this portion right
yes,
here,
yes,
that's where you want to that's where you are absolutely elite at getting into that almost that athletic shuffle, right? And
yes.
staying on him.
Yeah, well, yeah. When you get to the top of the rush, you see if they're going to be. He's going to hit you with power, and you got to settle down, or he's going to hit you with power and like roll high. So, um, sometimes whenever they bull it, get you kind of stop your feet, and that's like right there. Then he turns, so it's more of he could even stay square another kick, and just right there with the guy on the previous clip, how he got a hold of that hip. If he was
Right.
able to get his right hand on that hip and his left hand on his shoulder pad.
I like the finish though, using
Yes,
his length there at the
yeah.
very
What
top.
what the problem is the people in the back. Those they need to get out of there because I think it doesn't give because Jacob could have washed him all the way back if he wanted to, but if those people are there, that may be causing him to do that.
Yeah. I hadn't really
But
thought about the people crowding you. That's nothing. You don't have to worry about that at center. If those guys are in play, you've had a very bad rep if you're
yeah,
a center.
but if that's a guard rep, that's a good rep. If that's um, a guy
Yeah, I
running
think I
running
think the
high, but
only the only thing is right there. He's in great, but the initial kick's good. Sure, you wish the violence with the hands was better, but hey, sometimes a guy's going down the middle of you. You can't get your hands that involved. It's right here where if he just keeps shuffling and keeping him a little wider as opposed to stopping those feet,
yeah.
it's another good rep from Sexton.
Yeah, it is. Hey, I've seen a lot of practice start a lot worse than this.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
No doubt.
Mateer stepping up. Nice. He
Yeah,
looks
and,
back.
and, and Sexton's a big kid, man. He's got the frame to where he can play pretty much anything on the
The
line.
the way that I say it is like if it was like dodgeball at recess when you were a little kid,
Hey, yeah,
you go out there, you're picking Sexton first right now
yeah.
because
No,
he looks the part, no doubt about it.
he came and trained. Well, they actually the whole line came last year, but just for a workout. But yeah, Jacob was definitely one of the strongest, man. He's a specimen.
There's the new offensive coordinator right there in the black shirt jumping up and down, so he likes it.
He's excited. Yeah, he liked it.
Arbuckle, I don't know if you've met him yet, but you're gonna love him. Guy's got
I haven't.
he's got some juice. All right, we got one more clip of the stud freshman Michael Fasusi.
He kind of has that Tyler Guyton stance a little
Yeah, he
bit.
does. Little upright. But
Yep, little upright.
first, got it. Hey, I got to pay the bills here, man. I got to do the ad read. Calm down. I
Sorry.
love I, I love how into this you are. This is great. You listen to this podcast to get insight from the guys who played the game, like Lane Johnson, future Hall of Fame tackle. Why don't you take the same approach when it comes to buying your beef? When you order from Didier Ranch, you're getting your beef directly from the people who raise it. A rancher knows what it takes to have premium quality beef. Didier Ranch has done it for over 100 years right here in Oklahoma. From delicious 21-day dry aged ribeyes to savory steak burgers, there is no better place to get your beef. Get your beef from the guys who have done it and use code Oklahoma15 for 15% off on DidierRanch.com. Didier Ranch, tradition tastes better. All right, this is a guy that they are very, very excited about, Lane.
Uh,
Five star Michael Fasusi. He's been rolling with the twos in spring ball.
yeah,
I think the initial thing is D line's moving before he's moving. That's never where you want to be as an offensive tackle. But that's
yeah,
the tough thing about this snap, the clap snap count that's
yeah.
so
It's not good.
popular. That's so popular in college football. It takes one of the advantages for the offensive line away because you can't really anticipate a clap.
Yeah, and yeah, with everything else that's going on, I don't. Yeah, clap's not the best way to go. Um,
It is
you
what it
know
is, boy.
what I just saw in just a little bit of this rep is that even though he took an initial bad kick, he's still an athlete and able to glide like right there. What he just did,
Yeah, see,
you
that's
know.
when he gets, and this is PJ, another 5-star guy that absolutely looks the part. They're hoping
Yeah.
for him to come along in a big way this season, Lane. But when he gets here, when we saw this is the point where we saw Sexton kind of freeze his feet, right?
Yes.
And here Fasusi gets into that athletic shuffle that
Yeah.
it looks a
He
lot
get
like a right tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles that I know.
he gets that hand like on that hip, and then it glides up to the shoulder, and he just washes him in the ground. Yeah, this guy looks he looks tremendously long. Where's he out of?
He's a Texas kid, I believe.
Texas?
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, no, he's
And we beat Texas for him. So he's I don't know if he's gonna start, but he's gonna play. Like
yeah,
I think he's gonna get a lot of time. I think out of all of the guys that Bedenbaugh has coached at OU,
yeah,
which doesn't include like you and Trent, right? But I think he's got the
one
potential to be the best tackle that Bedenbaugh's had at Oklahoma.
dang. And Anton's good. I mean, Tyler's gonna
Anton's
be
good,
good.
Guyton's good.
Yeah,
I
they got
Fasusi
a lot of
Fasusi at
upside.
this age is ahead of all those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just really these past three reps have all been really, really good. Um, like I said, I've seen a lot of practices start really terrible, but with all of his line setting a tone like this, um, it's what it's all about.
Well, boy, I appreciate you joining me. Did you have fun doing it?
Yeah, no, I have a lot of fun.
You sound very intelligent. Like you sound
If
like you know what you're talking about.
if you get a chance for us to watch the all 22, then we can really get into some deep diving. But
Okay.
yeah, but I'll just tell you. So for me as a tackle, everything about what I'm doing is about angles, and being in a good area to be able to pass off games with my guard. Same thing with the guard and his relationship with the center. And when anything, games start happening, it's because people aren't on the same levels, or people are jump setting and other people are setting back, which is causing a changing of levels. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff, but definitely we'll talk about in the future.
Well, if we get more stuff like this,
Oh yeah,
I'm bringing you on every time.
yeah, man. No, it looks just from those three reps, and Kevin Wilson's back. And you see those calves look still pretty solid. So I'm looking forward to going to see him here pretty soon.
We'll go down there and mess with K Dub very soon. You're the man, Lane. Thanks for joining me, buddy.
All right, Gabe. Appreciate you.
That's it. We'll see you next time here on In the Weeds.